out, get a hold of Jerry Rishus down there. They've got sweatshirts, hats, t-shirts that they're giving away. It's going to be a good night. We really appreciate them being here. Night number 3, Tracy, of the 23rd annual Featherlight Trailers Fall Jamboree. How many of you been able to attend in your life? Do you remember? You have a count?
I've lost count. A long time,
most of them?
since they've been here, for sure.
That's cool. That is cool.
So that red one, a Dan Wheeler on the pole, normally runs a Wissota Midwest Modified. So they made a few changes to be able to run with USRA B-Mods. One being taking out the 4 9-inch rear end, throwing in a quick change. You know, a few other items, a small shopping list of things. So we'll see how he can do against these cars. So it's good to have him down. Again, this is his first night running of the 3 nights. One of those additions that we've had. Pay attention to the 60 of Colby Mann. He had a really good run last night.
They'll give it a couple of laps here as we're going to take input from the drivers to make sure that this track surface is where they want it to be on each and every one of these corners. And they'll come around and get that moisture work back into the racing surface. We want this to be a fast, safe night here at Deer Creek Speedway. Special thanks to National Fleet Graphics out of Dodge Center, Minnesota. They have been instrumental in being a sponsor here. They've probably put the numbers and lettering on many of these cars out here, and they also were instrumental as a sponsor for the King of the Creek, which was won by Jim Chisholm. The Chisholm family wanted to throw out a special thank you to a couple of the sponsors that had helped them out specifically this year. Stepped up big for the Chisholm race program. Wayne's Repair, Bill and Brenda Weber, Randy and Sandy Norby, and Keith and Marcia Emerson. A special thanks going out to those that have helped out these various race teams. If it weren't for the sponsors and all the companies, Tracy, that wanted to be a part of this and loved racing as much as we do, it would be very, very difficult to put all this together.
Want to give you another update. As Eric mentioned before, the 50-50 is actually being tag teamed this evening. The Stewartville Tiger Trap Team and Kids Dreams Come True. So half the money that comes in will go to the winner, and then the other half will get split between those two organizations. Again, Kids Dreams Come True, they also did the 50-50 and were part of our Stock Car Nationals, where they do a presentation. What they do is, it's a local nonprofit organization dedicated to filling the dreams of children in southern Minnesota. They might have some life-altering situations, illness, and disabilities. Through these fundraisers, they have been able to send families to trips to all kinds of places, California down to Disney World. So the money goes to an absolutely awesome cause. So make sure you purchase those 50-50 tickets. Again, 1 for $1, 6 for $5. Keep going on up. Purchase those tickets from those wandering around, or you can head on down to the courtyard. There is a tent down there. You can purchase those tickets, or there is also another table just outside the South VIP building, just outside the beer garden. So a lot of options, a lot of races ahead to purchase those tickets. They usually raise a lot of money, so somebody's going to go home with a lot of cash. You might even need security to help you get home.
We hope that's the issue, right? That you got enough cash that it worries you. Well, we also want to say thanks to Dell's Collectibles. He is, if you walk down, he's on the south end of the beer garden. If you walk through in the end, he has a table set up down there, as he does most nights here at Deer Creek Speedway. This gentleman, the Silver Fox, has got just some of the most collectible, iconic little 1/16, 1/64 scale hot rods, race cars from your local heroes here, and also some of NASCAR, sprint cars, World of Outlaw late models. Go check it out. It might be something for you to take home and put on the headboard of your bed just to remind you of racing during the winter, right? When we just can't get out and get enough racing. We also want to say happy birthday tomorrow to Vicky Hardy out of DeSmet, South Dakota. Happy birthday, young lady. It is actually September 26th, and we are 1 to go here with our first heat race of your USRA B-Mods. As we stated, Dan Wheeler on the pole. And if you haven't been here before, you see, I want you to take note of the 2 orange cones, one in the middle of 3 and 4, the other one at the exit of turn 4. That is the Deer Creek Go Zone. When Dan Wheeler gets there and says, all right, it's go time, I'm going to start this race, it's at his discretion. As soon as he drops the hammer and everything looks good, the one and only John Thiessen up there holding the green flag, keeping an eye on everything in the Trailer flag stand. He drops that green flag, and we are at go time at the creek.
Shaw drives down to the low side. We've got a few cars getting out of sorts coming around turn 2. Everyone keeps going, but Shaw is in the lead. But the red one of Wheeler now dropping down on turn 3. See if he can't regain that lead.
Wheeler leads him. Shaw, momentum on the outside. But they're 1-2 as they come by the flag stand to complete lap number 1. As they come out of turn number 2, Shaw way up on the high side. The 75X of Jimmy Brozite. And the 77T. .75X, Jimmy Brozite. Leading the way as they come down the back chute. Dan Wheeler right on the back door, looking for enough bite to try to get underneath him, but right now, track's still a little bit greasy. That's what you get when you're in the early heat races. Hunter Kennedy in that 0-2 back there running in 6th right now. Remember, folks, the top 3 go to Tech. Top 4, I believe, will go over the scale. 75X of Jimmy Brozite out of Decorah, Iowa. Making the run up here and showing him the way off the high side. Seems to have the setup that works for Deer Creek, at least early in this heat race. Dan Wheeler in the big red one, followed by Shaw right behind him in the 56 of Brandon Hare. And that 22T right there behind him, that's Tyler Tesh out of Lenox, South Dakota, making a haul over here to Deer Creek to join the party for the Fall Jamboree. Hunter Kennedy and Colby Mann right behind him, looking to try to break in. They're all trying to get around Brandon Hare for that last position. White flag last time around for the 75X of Jimmy Brozite. As he comes in to become the winner, takes the checkered flag of USRA heat race number 1. Oh, and tight wrestling for the 5th, 6th, and 7th spot back there, but all those will go depending on passing points and so forth. We will see many of these cars in one of our 4 B mains that we will have tonight, with 73 entries in our USRA B-Mods. We'll have plenty of racing going on tonight, folks. Heat number 2, Tracy, coming out right now.
On the pole, we've got that familiar 24C. That is Jim Chisholm out of Osage, Iowa. And outside the 40 is Colton Kramer from Pine Island, Minnesota.
Row number 2 on the inside, out of Ionia, Iowa, the 14M of Brian Malstead, and to his outside, Anton Nelson out of Hayfield, Minnesota, in the 44Z.
Row number 3 in the inside, the 28, that is Ryan Thorsten out of Decorah, Iowa, and outside the 99, Noah Grinstead from Austin, Minnesota.
Inside, row number 4, Brandon Allen out of Chatfield, Minnesota in the 36, and dangerous Don Schaefer out of Eota, Minnesota in the 97X to his outside.
Row number 5 on the inside, the 19J, that is Tracy Johnson out of Lake Preston, South Dakota, and outside the 67, that is Sawyer Swatik out of Ridgeway, Iowa.
Rounding out the field, Drew Williams in the 7W, that big red 7W out of Rochester, Minnesota, will round out the field, starting shotgun on the field tonight for USRA B-Mod heat number 2.
And keep in mind, the 24C starting on the pole, since they go by passing points. Even if he wins the race, that may not qualify him automatically into the main event if other drivers do a lot of passing and are at the top of the passing points. So that kind of makes things a little different, something that you want to watch as well. That 67, Sawyer Swatik, he is currently the rookie leader in the USRA B-Mod points here, racing this weekend, trying to grab some national points or rookie points. And the second place driver, he'll be in one of the races coming up.
The Meyerhofer crane and rigging caution lights are out And it is Jimmy Chisholm that drops the hammer out of turn 4 to start heat number 2.
Briefly 3 wide. They're all dicing 4 spots. We've got that 14. Malstead, he had a really good run last night as well. He drops into second place. The 40 of Colton Kramer getting a little bit sideways. That allows some passing going on. We've got some great tight racing here early on.
Jimmy Chisholm running down the backstretch, showing him the way. But he has Malstead and Grinstead, with Grinstead closing on Malstead, closing the difference. And there is a pack of Hornets coming behind him that are 3 and 4 wide, coming out of turn number 4. Everybody fighting for position as they take it through 1 and 2. We've got 2 laps completed in our second heat race.
Jim Chisholm in the 24C checking out up front. We've got Malstead in second, Grinstead, and now we've got that 44Z moving on up. That is Nelson trying to see if he can't gain some ground on those top 3 cars.
Jimmy Chisholm running away with it in that 24C. Has won both of the features the last 2 nights. He passes the flag stand to complete that midway point. 4 down, 4 to go. But the race behind him, Tracy, between Malstead and Grinstead, they kept that gap close, but they're walking away from the old pinky ride there. Anton Nelson giving him a hard time.
Absolutely. They're pretty much settling into their spots. Not really a lot of action going on at this point. Just everyone trying to keep their noses clean and hopefully pick up some passing points and see where they can set themselves up for the feature or top in the B mains.
Well, and as we get through these heat races, Tracy, as you know, the track changes and the track comes around, and there starts to become a second and a third line as they blow, as they say, they blow the snot off the top of the surface here. White flag, 1 to go in your second heat race.
It is that 24C of Jim Chisholm flying down the backstretch, uncontended for heat number 1. He is going to bring it in for the checkers. It is going to go to the 24C of Jim Chisholm. Coming in second, we've got the 14M of Malstead. Again, a really good run there. 99 of Noah Grinstead, the 44C of Anton Nelson. Rounding out the top 5, that 18J of Tracy Johnson. So we will send some of those to tech. Got a little bit of smoke out of one of the cars, but everybody came clean out of that heat race. So there you have it once again. Jim Chisholm taking the win in that heat race. And we're going to head on to heat number 3 of 7.
Heat number 3, rolling onto the backstretch right now. Special thanks to Gregerson Towing and Salvage and Recovery. Thank you for being part of the Deer Creek family all year for us. Helped out so many times, like yesterday when we had Blake Arndt doing modified jumping jacks down the front straightaway in just an incredible display of parts going in different directions. But he's doing okay, and he's actually, you know what, that's the kind of people that race here and are part of the racing family, is that he donated his trailer for Anton Nelson and said, here, go ahead, you can race out of my trailer tonight. And when I ran into Blake earlier, he was actually helping to sipe tires and scrub off some tires so that Anton had a better shot at competing tonight. So that's what kind of a brotherhood or sisterhood, a family this racing family really is.
All right, for the lineup now for heat number 3 on the pole is going to be the 97-2 of Josh Winsky out of Rochester, Minnesota. Outside the 43, that is Zach Brown from Winona, Minnesota.
Row number 2, Josh Roney out of Postville, Iowa in the 8X. And the runner-up last night, Chris Jackson out of Lebanon, Missouri in the number 65 to the outside.
Row number 3 on the inside, the 97V, that is Damian Vandenberg out of Renner, South Dakota. And outside the 81K, that is Caleb Corpy out of Claremont, Minnesota.
Inside, row number 4 out of Lenox, South Dakota, the 21T of Trevor Tesh. And to the outside, out of Byron, Minnesota, the 2C of Cole Benrott.
Row number 5 on the inside, the 15, that is Zach Elward out of Hayfield, Minnesota. And outside, the 20, that is Derek Van Veldhuizen out of Rock Rapids, Iowa.
And rounding out the field, 6th row, shotgun on the field out of Rushford, Minnesota. You'll see the 97 JR, the orange and white lettered. That's Landon Volkman. And the Meyerhofer crane and rigging caution lights are down, and it is Mr. Winsky's race to start. Go time down the front stretch.
That 43 of Brom had a really good run. We got 4 wide coming out of turn 1. What a race early on. That 8X of Roney now dropping down under the 97 of Winsky, trying to take over 3rd place. Good battle for the 1st place with Brom and Jackson. Jackson's going to dive down low. We'll see what can shake out coming down the backstretch.
But folks, you're going to want to keep an eye on that black and orange lettered 15 of Zach Elward. He races here regularly on every Saturday night that he can, but he's also run tracks all over the upper Midwest, and he's competitive wherever he goes. He's all the way up to 4th right now, and looking at the tailgate of Roney, seeing if he can find a way around him to get into that final transfer spot. And he'll get passing points too, like you mentioned, Tracy.
And that 43 of Brom still out front, but the 65 of Jackson chasing him down, taking everything he can to make the pass. It's not going to happen there, but we've got a few laps left, and there's going to be some action for sure. It's going to be a good one to the finish.
As you look back through the field, 3 wide between Winsky and Van Veldenhuizen. And Colby Mann, I believe, on the inside of that. I got to take a look at who that was. No, that's that 21. That's the 21T of Trevor Tesh out of Lenox, South Dakota, and we've got one turned around. That is none other than the 65 of Chris Jackson, who spun it right there in the middle of 3 and 4. Not sure if there was if he had any help with that or not, but they did seem to kind of be running by their lonesome out there in the front.
A little debris there going into turn 3 as well.
You have that.
And the 65 of Chris Jackson has left the track. I do believe that he just pretty much stepped on it going into 3, and it was a self-spin. So that is going to put Zach Brom in the 43 out front again, but that 8X of Roney, again, he has been having a really good Jamboree weekend, so he's going to be hot on the tail of Brom. And that 15 of Elward started 9th on the field. He is up to 3rd, so he's really cracking down, getting some passing points.
Great racing here as Brom and Roney are going to have a shot at it again. We're midway, 4 down, 4 to go in this 3rd heat race. So as Brom, he will choose if he wants to be to the inside or the outside, and then Roney will make his choice afterwards in our Delaware double file restart. Just so you know, folks, anytime here at Deer Creek when there is 3 laps or less remaining, we will start in a single file restart. So if we end up going green-white checkered, but the Meyerhofer crane and rigging lights are down, and Brom brings them back to the green flag wide open. We're green again at Deer Creek Speedway. Roney digging on the bottom side, and look at that. Here comes Elward on the high side, up against the wall, getting her set as he sends it into turn number 3. Coming out of there with momentum, but he'll remain 3rd right now, but the gap is tightened right up between Brom and Roney and Elward as they take him out of turn number 2.
And the 20 of Van Veldhuizen looks like he spun, collected some other cars. Not really sure what happened first there, but we have got a caution for a few cars spun in turn 4, and it is Van Veldhuizen heading off the track. We'll see if the other 2 can continue. It looks like they are moving. We'll see if they can't get back in line up. So yeah, the 20 of Van Veldhuizen has left the track.
So now it's free to go. good to see ya. Right there in front of the concession stand, announcer's tower, and Little Buck with him, who just had a birthday not too long ago. Great to see him here. Meyerhofer crane and rigging caution lights are down, and it's go time once again at the creek.
43 of Brom looking strong out front, but that 8X of Roney trying to drop down, take a peek at the lead. Not going to happen, but the 15 of Elward again. He has moved up from 9th spot, knocking on the door of 2nd place of the 8X of Roney.
Brom commanding in his lead right now, but we still got contact here coming out of turn number 4, but he's going to continue on, which will allow us to stay green. Right now, your leader, Brom, in the 43 with Roney underneath, digging on the bottom. Elward's looking for a shot as they come to the white flag. 1 to go to finish this 3rd heat race.
This is actually getting close. We've got 1 lap to go. That 43 still out front, but the 8X of Roney, see what he has in these last couple turns. Not going to be able to get those spots, so the win is going to go to the 43 of Zach Brom, the 8X of Roney in 2nd place. That 15 of Elward just cruising up into those top spots, picking up passing points, finishes 3rd. The 97V of Damian Vandenberg, 4th place, and the 97-2 of Josh Winsky rounding out the top 5.
Great heat racing so far. We get our 3rd one off the track, and here comes Superman Dan Hovden to start heat number 4. Superman will be starting on the pole inside row 1 out of Decorah, Iowa, the 16 of Superman Dan Hovden. Dylan Crawford out of West Union, Iowa, in the 83 to his outside.
Row number 2 in the inside, the 55K, that is Colson Kirk, and outside the 28T, another one running for rookie points, that is Philip Eady out of Decorah, Iowa.
Inside, row number 3, the pink lettered 83X, Caden Kath out of Ellendale, Minnesota, and Troy Hale out of Grand Meadow, Minnesota, in the 28H to his outside.
Row number 4 on the inside, the 66R, that is Randy Van Veldhuizen out of Rock Rapids, Iowa. Outside the 21K, that is Dave Kennedy out of Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Inside, row number 5, Kevin Joachim out of Larchwood, Iowa, in the 27K, and Adam Rogich out of La Crescent, Minnesota, in the 7 will round out the field.
Again, that 28T of Philip Eady out of Decorah, currently running 2nd place in the USRA B-Mod rookie points. So again, 1-2, both drivers here this weekend trying to pick up some points for that rookie run.
Should be another great example of just how good these B-Mod drivers are. USRA B-Mods, like we stated just a moment ago, that Dylan Crawford in the 83 out of West Union, Iowa, will be on the outside of Dan Hovden. But the Meyerhofer crane and rigging caution lights are down, and Superman drops the hammer. We are going once again at Deer Creek Speedway.
And it is Hovden leading into turn 2. We've got Kath dropping down low on Kirk, trying to take over. We've got Eady spinning in turn 2. He is off the track. We are going to stay green flag racing.
I believe you're correct, Tracy. No caution at this point right now. He is spun. Yep, we are going to have a caution. Yep, indeed. Spun, and Phil, is it Eady or Eady? Eady. Phil Eady, the 28. 28T of Philip Eady had got out of shape on his own out there, so the caution is on the 28T. They will double them back up, and 1 lap down, 7 to go in our 4th heat race here for our USRA B-Mods. Dan Hovden will choose inside, outside, and subsequently Colson Kirk in the 55K will be the one to choose, and he's chosen the outside. Dan Hovden turns him loose once again, and we go under the green of the Trelo flag stand. Deer Creek.
Kath trying to move on up, but it is Kirk on the top shelf as they go down the backstretch. Hovden trying to gain another little bit of distance on that lead, but he's got some hard charges right behind him.
racing between Caden Cath and that 55K of Colson Kirk out of Urbana, Missouri. Making it worthwhile as he's competing right now, running second with Caden Cath right on his back door. The 7 right there, that came from the final position. That's Adam Rogich in that red, white, and black. Number 7 coming up into 5th place right now, looking for a way around 27K of Kevin right ahead of him.
Cars are kind of spreading out a little bit. It is Hovden up front. We have got Kirk in second. Cath trying to dig and grab some distance. Move on up on that 55 in 4th place. It's currently the 21K of Kennedy, the 7 of Rogich in 5th place. At this point, there's really no contention for the 16 of Hovden out front.
6 laps completed as Hovden comes under the flag stand this time high. Blasts off down the backstretch. But the gap is getting narrower, Tracy, between Hovden. Maybe he's saving the car a little bit, but I have a hard time believing that. Superman runs pretty hard as he takes the white flag. And right now, still about the same gap between 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, Tracy.
That it is. We've got Hovden coming in for the checkers. And it is going to be the 16 of Dan Hovden taking the win, followed by the 55K of Colson Kirk, the 83KX of Caden Cath. 4th place will be Dave Kennedy, and 5th place, the 7, that is Adam Rogich. So there you have it. Heat number 4 of 7 in your USRA B-Mods. They're going to head to Tech, and we're going to have the next heat coming on out.
On the pole, heat number 5 of your USRA B-Mods will be Minnesota Dirt's own Billy Steinberg out of Casson, Minnesota in the 83S. Kylie Cath out of Claremont, Minnesota in the 83K on the outside of the front row.
Row number 2 in the inside, the 23K, that is Eric Cans out of Winona, Minnesota, and outside the 6th, Dustin Cruz out of Brandon, South Dakota.
Inside of row 3, the 55 out of Brownsdale, Minnesota, Brody Shaw. And to his outside, Logan Alseth out of Winona, Minnesota in the 07.
Row number 4 in the inside, the 30 is Scott Demmer out of Ellendale, Minnesota, and outside the 80, that is Dustin Johnson from Mitchell, South Dakota.
And rounding out the field, out of Dexter, Minnesota in the 45 is Cole Lornigan and Hunter Nelson to the outside from Peterson, Minnesota in the 52. Caution lights are down. We are ready to go green, Tracy.
All right, we have got Steinberg and Cath bringing around, and they are hitting the green flag. Moving up to 3 wide nearly on the start with Cans jumping on up there.
Talking to Billy Steinberg as they had problems with limited RPMs. Looks like they might have got it fixed here. Good pull down the back stretch for that white lettered blue black 83 of Billy Steinberg. But he does give up the lead as they come under the flag stand to complete lap number 1.
The 6 of Dustin Cruz dropping down low, taking over 2nd place. But we've got Steinberg on his bumper as they go down the back stretch. The 30 of Demmer now dropping down low, trying to pop into the top 4 as they come around turn 4.
Kylie Cath leading the way. In the 83, Dustin Cruz right behind him. As they come into turn number 3. Now Scott Demmer all the way out of 7th place is now up to 3rd. Getting a little look under the skirt there from Billy Steinberg as they come down the front straightaway to complete lap number 3.
This one's a good race, tight racing, and we've got Steinberg now in 5th place, trying to see if he's got anything for the 23K of Eric Cans, but out front it is still Cath being chased down by the 6 of Dustin Cruz.
Cruz on the bottom, Cath way up top running on the cushion. Demmer right behind him. Scott Demmer in that number 30 has found a setup that works for this Deer Creek Speedway, and as they come around to complete lap number 5, it is still side by side through turn 1, and here comes Cath. He's still got company on the bottom as they come through the corners, Tracy.
All right, we've got the 30 of Demmer on the bumper of Cruz. He might try to make an evasive move, get some passing going on. He is dropping down in turn 1, goes side by side with Cruz as they charge along for 2nd place. Cruz up top, still able to maintain that spot. Now he drops down low, trying to solidify his spot in 2nd place.
And they take the white flag. 1 to go. Last chance. If you're going to get it now. Demmer on the high side, looking for momentum, trying to catch Cruz for that second spot. But it's the Kylie Kath show, the 83, coming around to take the checkered flag. Winner of heat number 5. Second goes to Dustin Cruz. And Scott Demmer was 0.148 seconds behind him for that third spot. Top 3 will go to Tech. Top 4 will go over the scale. Eric Cans rounds out the top 4. Brody Shaw was 5th and Billy Steinberg 6th.
Before our next heat comes out, we want to give you a little 50-50 update. Again, purchase those tickets. The half is $1,700 already.
Well, isn't that nice? Well, hey, wouldn't it be cool if on his birthday, Brock Rolfe, maybe his mom or dad that bought a ticket, he's going to have his 9th birthday coming up on Tuesday, September 28th. So maybe he'll bring a little luck to him. Happy birthday to you, young man. Thanks for coming down and being part of the Deer Creek family for the 23rd annual Featherlight Trailers Fall Jamboree. We will go right into heat number 6. Josh Apple out of Garner, Iowa, in the 66-65J will be on the pole, and the 476X out of Cresco, Iowa, of Troy Hovey rounds out the front row.
Row number 2 on the inside, the 8M, that is Caleb Motter out of George, Iowa. Outside the 17, Jordan Grube from Cresco, Iowa.
Inside, row number 3, Kyle Anderson out of Decorah, Iowa in the 96. And to his 98 in the outside is Brady Bolin out of Winona, Minnesota in the 88.
Row number 4 on the inside, the 32Z, that is Alex Swanziger out of Walker, Iowa. Outside the 28P, Parker Hale from Grand Meadow, Minnesota.
Jamie Hiller out of Waterville, Minnesota in the 22H. Inside of row 5 with Lily Reps, the 29 out of Utica, Minnesota. Shotgun on the field as we are getting ready to start our 6th out of 7 USRA B-Mod heat races. There's a lot of fast cars in this one, Tracy, and the Meyerhofer crane and rigging caution lights are down. They're ready to take it away.
All right, we've got Apple, we've got Hovey coming around, hitting the cone zone, and they pin it, and we are racing here again in heat number 6.
A whole lot of excitement as we had contact, and Hiller comes around after coming up in the air. Backs it up into the middle of turn 1 and 2. That should be a complete restart as Troy Hovey had jumped out to an early lead, and that rocket, that Razor, is getting fast, as he said. He's got that 476 figured out. Had a pretty decent run here last night. They will start him over again. The 65J of Apple to the inside, 476 of Hovey to the outside, the 8M of Motter, and the 17 of Jay Grube with Kyle Anderson, Brady Bolin, Alex Zwanzinger, calling Nashua, Iowa, basically Decorah, the 32Z. I wanted a Fesley Farm sponsored Small World Daycare, and Cedar Valley Sales and Service out of Nashua, Iowa on the 32Z there tonight, making the haul up here to be part of the Fall Jamboree. We appreciate it. Great having a conversation with Alex. Talked to a lot of drivers that are farmers. They're part of a farm family, and they said, well, the beans will have to wait just another day or 2. They're going to be there come Monday, Tuesday, but the racing will be over if you're not here at Deer Creek for the Fall Jamboree. Talked to Mr. Trainer, part of the Kevin Stoa team, and he had mentioned the same thing. Well, you know, there was a wedding I could have gone to, and we got farming that needs to be done, but he's over out of the Northwood, Iowa area, and stated, yeah, you know, we're probably going to have to come to the creek, you know, because it is the Fall Jamboree. It's the one and only. And we appreciate each and every one of you coming down to make this happen. Thank you to the Staley family and the Queensland family for pulling together all of these sponsors, everybody that's helping out. We really appreciate it. Tracy, what do you got?
Just a reminder to all the campers for the Featherlight Fall Jamboree. If you did not renew today, you have until the 15th of October to make your reservations for 2022. If you do not make those reservations by the 15th, those spots will become available to the general public. So again, you know, just contact Bill at the Deer Creek office. Catch them tonight. Want to have those spots, because if you lose it, it might be a while before you get back into it. So again, campsites for the Jamboree open for reservations through the 15th for those who already have them, and we are going to go green flag racing once again. Out to the lead. We've got a little bit of Dyson going back for third and fourth spot, 3 wide for fifth place. We got a lot of changing up in those last spots. That 8M of Mod are now moving into the fourth spot. Again, 3 wide.
Great racing. It's Hovey in that 476X showing him the way. Backs it into the cushion here, and turn 3 coming out of turn 4, smooth as glass to complete lap number 3 in our 6th heat race tonight, Tracy.
It is still all Hovey up front in that white 476. Apple looking strong, running up that top side in second place. Mod are still in fourth place, holding back the challenges of Parker Hale.
Caleb Motter's got another Hale that's looking to get underneath him. Parker Hale, like you stated. Looking on the underside. Here comes Swearinger. He's up on the cushion too, trying to find a way around, and Hale makes, contact in the middle of 1 and 2. But they both come out of it clean, it appears. The leader under the flag stand right now to complete lap number 6. That's none other than Josh Apple. Josh Apple running second, right behind Troy Hovey in the 476X. The 98 of Kyle Anderson out of Decorah coming around to take the white flag.
1 lap to go here in this heat race, and it is all Hovey up front. 65J of Apple looking strong in second place, and the 98 of Kyle Anderson. Top 3 right now. Checkers coming in, and it's going to be Hovey taking the win over Apple, Anderson, and we've got Motter in fourth place. Close one for fifth place, but it's going to be the 28P of Parker Hale. So once again, Hovey taking the win in that heat race. That was number 6. So we have got 1 heat race left in our USRA B-Mods, and then we'll turn it on over to Pat and Bryce for some A-Mod action. All right, so we've got heat number 7 hitting the track. On the pole is going to be the 72 of Alex Shuby out of North Mankato, Minnesota. Outside, the 87H, that is Harley Days out of Winona, Minnesota.
That's kind of cool. Yeah, Tyler had found $20 on the race.
Row number 2 on the inside. The 25 is Joe Chisholm out of Osage, Iowa. Outside, the 83R is Cullen Kath out of Owatonna, Minnesota. Row number 3 on the inside, the 32 is Taylor Skauge out of Caledonia, Minnesota. Outside, the 54 is Jet Sorensen from Rochester, Minnesota. Row number 4 on the inside, the 33, that is James Erickson from Mabel, Minnesota. And outside, the 27, a Chandy Warner from Owatonna, Minnesota. And rounding out the field in the 85, having a really strong run last night, that is the 85 of Ben Modry out of Protivin, Iowa. And outside, the 53, Tiana Mattoon from New Richland, Minnesota.
Outstanding lineup. This is a bunch of fast drivers, and this ought to be a blast to see how this turns out. Well, how about this, folks? If you ever thought, you want to hear something really cool? Orchard Creek Transportation. Luke Perkapile, how about you, brother? Hard charger, an extra $100. So now we're at $200 with Randy and Sandy Norby throwing up $100 to begin with. Second place in the feature, he'll throw $100 on that. And third place in the feature. You the man, Luke. You the man. Orchard Creek Transportation, how about that? That's a company I could drive for and put my CDL to work. Alex Schuby ready to drop the hammer and send them as they come out of turn number 4. Go time!
Joe Chisholm in that 25. We've got 3 wide. Taylor Skauge in that 32. 3 wide briefly for the lead. Schuby able to jump out, and Schuby, running really good and drops off the pace. Something severe happened, and immediately.
Schuby's going to go ahead and see if he can get into the infield. No, that's going to bring out a caution. Schuby, something must have broke is what we're assuming, because he just went no power as he came into turn number 3. I haven't seen any parts getting picked up off the field, but yeah, you never know. I mean, Tracy, we've had incidents like that where a drive shaft drops off, or something breaks on the drivetrain, and the next thing you know, they just roll into a halt on the front stretch.
Exactly. When cars go like that, it's like scan the track and not finding that white drive shaft out there. So who knows what that is, lost ignition or something. But unfortunately, because he has had a really good weekend here at the Fall Jamboree, so unfortunate that he's going to need some assistance getting off the track.
And they'll give him a little push or put him on the hook and get him safely out of harm's way off the race surface. There we go. They're going to give Alex Schuby a push, it looks like. So we'll get back underway here pretty shortly. Special thanks to Ziegler Cat Equipment out of Rochester, along with the boys from Grand Meadow, J&S Repair, JCB Equipment. If you haven't had a chance to take a look at it, man, I'm telling you, some of the concepts and some of the new builds that they have for skid loaders and others, I'm telling you, you're going to want to go down and check it out. We thank them, along with the folks at John Deere SEMA Equipment out of Grand Meadow, Minnesota. Go down and see the new John Deere Taj Mahal. It's one of the biggest and best John Deere dealerships in all the upper Midwest. Know some friends that work down there, and it is quite a place. I'm telling you, the service has been fantastic for the farmers that I work with that run a lot of different John Deere green equipment. We really appreciate all their help. All year they've been here with equipment to help us prepare this track surface. And if some of you have been to other tracks where, you know what, just because it's a different type of dirt or it's a different configuration, the toughest challenge sometimes with the weather is to keep a race surface as smooth and fast as this one. Tracy, here we go. Meyerhofer, crane and rigging lights are down.
And it's going to be the 25 of Joe Chisholm bringing him around. He is on the point right now. The 54 of Jet Sorensen. Close on his tail. The 32 of Taylor Skauge now sliding up a little bit. Not going to do a complete slide job, but goes side by side with the 54 of Sorensen. Now it's going to be a slide job from the 32 of Skauge. Clear, and he is in second place, but watch that 85 of Ben Modry now moving into second place.
Modry up to second. Skauge still running the same line as the leader. Joe Smoke Chisholm off high off of turn number 4. He is side by side with Modry as they complete lap number 3. That's for second. And you're right, Jet Sorensen right there in that Legacy Concrete sponsored number 54 with Channing Warner, the Trelo sponsored number 27, right behind him, rounding out the top 5.
Great racing for second place. The 32 of Taylor Skauge, the 85 of Ben Modry. Skauge does the slider, makes the pass, but here comes the 85 of Modry back underneath as they come around turn 4. But up front, it is all smoke. 25 of Joe Chisholm.
A little bit of bumping and grinding going on there between Channing Warner, and that's for 4th, for 5th and 6th. They've been battling back and forth, and they're side by side again as they back it into turn number 3. But your leader, Joe Smoke Chisholm in the 25C, takes the completion of lap number 6, Tracy, as they're heading into turn number 3.
All right, we've got the 85 of Modry driving down hard, leaving some room for the 32 of Skauge with the white flag out. We have got one to go. 25 of Joe Chisholm coming in to take the checkers, and that is going to be it. We've got a final slider from the 85 of Modry. Does not work. The 32 of Skauge taking second place over the 85 of Modry. The 54 of Jet Sorensen, fourth place, and the 53 of Tiana Mattoon rounding out the top 5. So there you had your final heat race in our USRA B-Mods. The 25 of Joe Chisholm taking the win. That completes those heat races, and now we are going to turn it on over for some A-Mod action with Bryce Hall and Pat Graham.
Thank you very much, Tracy.